Socksss is a very flexible player, but at 2-1, he's probably locked in mentally to be playing Slayer's late game. Okay, hey, in this video, we're going to be talking about what MisMatchedSocksss does that separates him as a top level flex player and watching one of his games from the NA qualifiers. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So starting here, MisMatchedSocksss grabs a BF sword. I think probably one of the best items you can start off with. Although I think a lot of players are kind of locked in their lane at this point. We're into game 5 and everyone kind of knows what they want already as their starting item. And so you're not really fighting the whole lobby for the sword, even though it's really good, because there's a couple of people who just don't want the sword. Perfect. So here he gets the offer of being able to play the sharpshooter Nidalee. I don't think he takes it. It's not particularly a great chosen. So I think he just grabs the Vanguard frontline and enjoys that. Perfect. So here he grabs the Tom Kench chosen. I think Brawler chosen is probably one of the best early game starters. So I think like here, he's not made like a drastic, incredible decision that no one's ever made before. I think he's just playing the good units. Something to note this next turn where he has a couple of options, right? So he has 9 gold available, right? Choices he could make. Level up. He has the Vigar he could sell or play. He has the Yuumi he could sell or play. And then he has this shop, right? If you think about what he wants, the play I would think is that he wants to put in this Tristana over the double Nidalee, get that sharpshooter bonus. And then he wants to go ahead and level up. Now, what does he sell? What does he put in as the 4th unit? He could either put in the Tom Kench, or he could go ahead and put in either the Yuumi or the Vigar. So he ends up buying Tristana. Makes a lot of sense. Playing sharpshooter, it's good. He scouts around and he realizes that he wants the Vigar. Realistically, that's not a choice I would have made, but that's why he's a better player. And I think that's a cool choice to think about. So he slams the items. He could have made like a Giant Slayer. I think it's too early for Giant Slayer to be worth it. Making the Hurricane seems fine. Something to note here is that we talked about kind of when he slams these items, he's kind of locked in. I think right now in Socks's mind, he is going to play some sort of Slayer's comp. He's going to put that Hurricane on Olaf. Now, yes, there's a couple people who can hold it. Notably, he has a Brawler chosen. Probably in the mid game, he's going to put it on like a Shyvana, right? Socksss is a very flexible player, but at 2-1, he's probably locked in mentally to be playing Slayer's late game. Okay, so look at that as the decisions he makes for the game. He's probably going to play Brawlers through the mid game with Shyvana holding the items, and then he's going to move the items to Tryndamere and Olaf. And that's a decision he made on 2-1, and he's already got that planned out. Now, he goes ahead, picks up a Brawler, easy, just put it in, play another Brawler. It's pretty strong. Perfect. So here, pretty easy. He has the Nidalee pair. He also has the question on whether or not he wants to play to like try to win these next couple of rounds by pre-leveling, or if he wants to buy some units up or try to make 10 gold. So he can either pre-level, buy the units, or he can try to make 10. I think here it's probably easier just to make 10. You buy the Nidalee, go to 4, and then you sell the 2 3-cost units and you go up to 10. I'd be surprised if he didn't make 10 here. Right, it looks like he's setting up to make 10. He might pre-level though if he wins this one, but it looks like he's just saving up to hit 10 gold. His positioning's great. If you look at this, he like always does this like angled with Tom Kench not centered, but like slightly farther away from the carries. So when the front line walks, they walk away from the carries and towards the Kench. This is great positioning. Here, I'd be surprised if he wasn't looking to pick up like Slayer's items, so something to use that sword as like a Slayer's comp. Go ahead and pick up the belt, play a Zeke's, just a strong, flexible item. Probably don't have to make the Zeke's right now. Probably can just hold off on that. Still pretty good. He grabs the Sivir. It's kind of difficult what he wants to do here. Sivir definitely goes in, but 1-star Sivir with no items, not amazing. Probably make the Zeke's here. It feels a little greedy to just like slam an item, but I think it's good here and you're playing triple sharpshooter, so like they all use the buff pretty well. I don't blame him for not making it. Probably put the belt somewhere though. A little late on that, but it happens. Yeah, just a little indecisiveness. Made that round hurt a lot more. Yeah, he's just trying to decide what he wants to do here. This is a awkward turn and he just makes 20 gold, which I think is fine. He's just going to try to push like a gold advantage in the mid game so he can go ahead and like power spike a lot earlier than people. I don't know how many people would have actually sold the Sivir there, but it makes sense when you're like, yeah, his goal isn't to like win these fights. His goal is to not take a lot of damage and have gold over people, right? When you put it like that, like it makes a lot of sense and he made a great play. Here he picks up the 4th Brawler. He's setting up to play Elderwood if he wants to. Here he's really set up. If he finds a Shyvana, he's in a great spot. Here he's just he's living his best life. He's playing the Shyvana Brawlers. He's gonna play this through the mid game, and now he's gonna push that And he makes the Zeeks now. That seems fine. He wants to start winning. That was something I talked about. Like, pros past like stage 2 don't want to lose streak anymore. So like you see him slam that Zeeks because he just wants to start like winning fights soon. He levels the 6 on 3-2 and now he's rolling. He's already like pretty strong, but he's going to continue that roll down just to get even stronger, right? So he's looking for the Maokai. He gets to play the 6 brawlers. Did he need to do this? No. Do I think a lot of people would have like rolled down here to power spike? I don't think so. I think people would have been like, okay, I'm neither win streaking or lose streaking. I have a gold advantage. I'm just going to push that. He's not trying to push a gold advantage anymore. He's gotten his like 3 to 4 gold. He's going to try to start winning fights now. Like, that's a big level up moment for players, is when they're realizing like, hey, I'm strong now, but I could be stronger. I have a lot to roll for. I'm going to roll. And like, even on like the little things, he scouts really well. And I think that's something that's harder to like learn through just like watching a lot of games, because you just have to think like really critically about it. But like just watching the decisions he makes and why he makes them is like one of the best. And here he's putting a lot of pressure on other people in this lobby. Some people hadn't rolled down, and even though he was strong, since he power spiked even harder, he's going to start dealing a lot of damage to people in this lobby. And on stage 3 and stage 4, you really just can't be taking these like 5-6 unit losses. You're going to lose life fast, right? He's trying to bully people in this lobby to also spend their gold. Doesn't really hit anything he really wants, so he's just chilling. Just super happy in the spot he's in. And again, he's not playing brawlers into the late game. He's already locked in on playing some sort of like Slayers comp as early as stage 2-1. He's one of the most flexible players, and he's locked himself into a comp mentally like this early into a game. Here he takes out the cannon just in time to not get stunned. I think he wins it anyway, but it's nice to have a couple extra units around. Picking up the Dragon Soul. Unlikely he's actually going to want to play that. I think there are certain items that really push you into like certain comps. So you see that like he has that Hurricane, and really the only late game carry that holds the Hurricane is Shyvana, who it's on now, and Olaf, right? Or like even playing like some sort of like a Slayer's build, because like Tryndamere can hold it well, or Samir can hold it well. The units that hold that item have really locked him into like a few carries, and they all kind of play in that central like Slayer's comp. And so you think of like playing whatever you hit at like level 6, but that's not the case. Playing flexible is really like playing whatever items you get and making them the best carry for him, right? So right now he slammed an item that's only good on like 3 or 4 units, and the rest of the game he's gonna work on maximizing the rest of his items to be good with that first item he made. And that can make him play different comps from game to game. And so when you look at his match history, you're like, man, he's a flexible player. He plays everything. But he's not like, oh, I could be playing 8 different comps when it comes to like stage 5. He's pretty locked in mentally on what he wants to play. Here, I believe that he's probably going to level 7 on stage 4-1. Yeah, I think like the foresight and being able to plan that far ahead is insane. And like obviously sometimes it doesn't work out and you have to pivot. Even like here, he's just gonna make blue buff, rage blade, and then GA, and he just like has the items to put it on like a Lee Sin carry. And I think that's what he's trying to figure out right now, is like, how do I make these items? And like even if he slams those items, he's like definitely going Slayers from here. So blue buff, rage blade, GA, and like at that spot he's just totally locked. He can put like these items on like a Lee Sin. So now he's going to have like a Tryndamere with like a duelist. So he kind of already is like putting this together. And now it's just like getting there healthy enough. Yeah, Deathblade just takes a lot of swords right now. And I think that like he could have made it, but that would have been at like the cost of like playing Zeeks and GA, which I think are just way stronger items now. And he hits the Lee Sin, and you can see he does like a little dance. He's like, yeah, like I needed this champ. He's just happy. He's like, yeah, I hit. That Lee Sin was probably going to be the hardest unit for him to find. So now he's just going to 7. And I think something that would surprise a lot of people here, but after watching a lot of Socksss play, is that I'm pretty sure he's going to level 8 on stage 4-5. So the next round he can. I think he's going to spend like 50-ish gold leveling up to 8 just to be level 8. And I think that's something that like is weird to a lot of people, is that in that case, I'm winning, I'm at a healthy life total. I'll just like greed out the rest of like stage 4. And then like at 5-1, I'll go ahead and hit level 8 and I'll have a ton of gold to roll down with. He doesn't need a ton of gold to roll down with. He's pretty strong right now, and he's good at building boards for cheap. If we take a second and pause on stage 4-5, Shop's not great. He's at 63 gold. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he levels here. Yeah, there we go. He spends 45, 50 gold here to level in, just to put in a Lee Sin. No synergy, no divine, no duelist, doesn't really do much for his team. He just wants to be level 8 to have an extra unit. Players are just like trying to be as strong as they can, because taking any loss at this point is just so much life. I'd be surprised if he transitioned now. I think he's gonna chill here for one more round, and then at stage 5-1 he'll probably sell his chosen and like pivot on to playing something stronger. That's been a big thing. It's that like that was a big level up moment. It's just like learning to like, hey, even though it's a lot of gold to level up, I might as well just try to level up. If I kill an extra couple of units, like it's gonna go a long way. And like he may be missing out on like 6 gold, but he doesn't need the 6 gold. He just made that all back because he just hit double Tryndamere, and like he wouldn't have found that level 7, but level 8 he can. So he's giving himself the chance to like hit units in his shop, and now he's pivoting. He built this item, Hurricane, on stage 2-1, and in his mind he knew that I was going on a Slayer somewhere on stage 5. So like, yeah, he's a flexible player, but he's locked himself into that. And now he's just gonna roll down here and just look for a better chosen, better units. He's actually getting kind of unlucky here, just like not really hitting anything. Like hits a Samira, that's pretty good, but like overall, like pretty bad roll down. So he's gonna try to like minimize the damage he takes here. Pretty rough turn. He's definitely not happy with that in terms of like how that roll down went. So he's gonna have to try to like narrow down on what he wants to play and start trying to make it work. But he's got time, and that's a big thing, is that like he got unlucky in his roll down, but because he was playing so aggressive to like keep his life high, that even though he got unlucky, he's still at 45. He has so much time to get a better comp. If he loses the next 2, he's still in a good spot health-wise compared to like the rest of the lobby. Even though like sometimes you get unlucky, he's put himself in a spot that getting unlucky doesn't matter too much. Now he's trying to figure out what he wants to play. He hits this Aatrox chosen, super nice. Go ahead and throw that in there. A little all over the place, just trying to play whatever. The Samira seems a little off. She's strong, but like with no items, it seems a little weak. I'd be surprised if that was in his comp too much longer over like an Olaf, but I guess she's gonna be stronger than the Olaf one for now. And you can see that like he can play like divine, but he'd rather just play generically strong units. And once we get that Olaf 2, we put it in over the Samira. Took him a couple of turns to get that transition over, but it's fine now. And we're gonna start seeing players like drop from the lobby. And I can't imagine, like, he didn't get incredibly lucky this game. I think he might end up at like a 5th or 4th place just based on like his health total. I don't remember this game like specifically. I know it's not a great score. I'd be 5th or 4th, but he got unlucky. His roll down was pretty bad. His items aren't like optimal. The order he got him in, if he had like a Hodge and a Redemption instead of like Trap Claw blue buff, probably in a lot better spot. But with that being said, he made the best out of like a pretty awkward situation where he just played really aggressively. And I think that that's something you can start incorporating in your games, realizing this might be an aggressive play, but it might buy me 2 or 3 more wins. And in the late game, like if Socks was like 15 health lower because he like greeted out those couple of turns, he'd be at 2 HP right now. That's a 7th place. These are the cool decisions that like top level challenger players are making that are like a big level up moment for a lot of players. Yeah, and looks like he's going to take another loss here, but he should be healthy enough to survive it. Yeah, he cleaned up a couple more units. This Swain got kicked to every corner of the map, but doesn't matter. He's still alive. Yeah, and he picks up another Hurricane. That one's probably going on the Olaf now. Probably a slightly better item on Olaf. He hit the Trin 2 first, so it makes sense. But yeah, he just had a lot of life to burn, right? He got unlucky in who he fought. He got unlucky in like the units he got, but he just like played really like solid in the mid game, and that carried him to like be in this spot where like if he was, you know, 15 levels lower, like he'd be in 7th place, but he's not. Probably wins this fight, and guaranteed 2 people die in this fight. So that means he's going to be locked for at least 5th. Because he caught a break and finally could play a ghost. He could beat like most of the ghosts in the lobby. Yeah, and he wins this one. Super good for him. Yeah, kind of unlucky that Robin lived with 1 life. Like this was for sure like easy 5th, 4th place, and now he's like kind of worried about it. But there are 2 people in the lobby that if they die, they're definitely going to place lower than him. Everyone else in the lobby is like pretty close. Like maybe he can win this one. I don't think he can. Yeah, the Aatrox was just too strong. But actually, that was a lot closer than I thought it would be. It's a little unlucky, but like, hey, that's a 5th place instead of a 7th place. And that was really just because he played really aggressively in the mid game. And he also had a plan. He made the items, he knew what he was going for, and he stayed out of other people's lanes. He did a lot of scouting early game and knew like, hey, this is kind of where this person's gonna end up, this person's gonna end up, and this is where I want to end up. Just watching Socksss play like 20 games, super dialed in, and like making these decisions that he like almost always spent 20 gold leveling to 7 early and then like rolling a ton of gold down. These players were always like pushing an advantage, and I was like, damn, they play so well. With that being said, thanks for tuning into this video. If you guys enjoy this kind of long form content and want to see more of it in the future, go ahead and give me some support on other mediums. I do these live on Twitch and kind of answer some questions as we go through them, and I'm able to hang out and help you grow as a player. I have some other social medias. I post infographics on Twitter, also post them on Reddit. Yeah, just go ahead and give me a follow. Appreciate it.